Going to begin with our model Tekla video, and we're going to edit the project. I've input two jobs, a 50 by 125 by 20 foot eve height, and then a lean-to, a 24-foot wide lean-to that attaches to the front sidewall. We'll go and they've been input. We're going to go into layout. As you can see right now, they're just laid out, and we need to go ahead and put some attachments together. So we'll go ahead and attach the lean-to to the main building. And we'll finish that up. And we also need to do some grid creation. We'll regen our grid. You can see as we draw the grid now, take a look at a Rotate 3D. Everything is laid out. And we can then go in and design our project. And we're done here, so we can then go into detail. We'll take a look at our Tekla. We have an empty model. We'll come back, we'll do a create Tekla model, create model in Tekla. And here we have our Tekla model. One of the things about Tekla that we really caused us to work with Tekla is the fact that, for instance, if we wanted to move this girt line, and we're going to move it 1 foot up, if you'll watch the flange bracing and flange brace clip, they move with it and stay attached to the inner flange, so that whenever you make a modification to the model, it allows you to clearly and easily modify the frame. That will follow all the way through to the fabrication drawings. Now we'll move those, let those go back. Another reason why we decided to go with Tekla is the ability to create things like a mezzanine very quickly. If you'll just allow me here, we're going to create, let's do this. Let's load HSS columns, and let's set the position on those. Top at 10 foot and bottom at 0. And let's place a few of those. We're going to just place them now. Let's do this. Let's bring this over here, this view, And let's make it a little smaller. We'll make this view a little smaller so that we can see what we're doing here. So I've got my columns. Now I'm just going to place a beam. 16 by 40 will work. We'll just place a beam in between those. Let's turn off these others. And then we'll do this. Turn that off. And there. I forgot a couple. So let's go ahead and add these. So we have our beams placed now. Well, before we do our joist, let's just go ahead and modify and create our connections. So what we'll do is we'll just come over here and select all of our beams here. We'll come to Detailing, Auto Connection. We're going to create some connections. I'm going to create shear tabs to connect those beams to those columns. And let's do a Create Connections. So now, if we zoom in, we have our column connections already created. But we have these other connections over here. So let's bring this guy back up. And let's go to Beamed Column Connections. And let's beam to beam, beam to column connections. And let's go ahead and do number 186 right here. We'll select our flange on our column and then our beam. That looks much better. Okay, now we'll add that joist. Then we can select all of them. And we've got our joists. If we look over here, See, we've got everything already there. Then it's just a matter of adding decking. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take all of this and put it back into QuestMB. We'll close this view and we'll just expand this view some more as we prepare to do that. All right. First thing that we're going to want to do is get our punching. We have to run our numbering. Numbering is Tekla's piece marking. Now we'll run our select and unfold. And what it's doing is it's going through and it's capturing all the punching on all the Z's right now and gathering that into data that we can then transfer back to QuestMB. It will take it just a few minutes. There's 125 Z's. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a report. We're going to create a report using the QWC assembly list, and we're going to do a create from all. And now it's creating all the parts that are in the model into a list that we can then transfer back to QuestMB. Now that we're done, we're ready to come back into QuestMB, go into detail and into our interactive bill of material. We'll go ahead and do a get data. And as you can see, there's really no framing members. And we'll quit this after having done get data. We'll come back into Tekla and we'll do an import BOM. And we're going to get our model. And it's now importing all of that data. And as we go back into our interactive bill of material, we have this new Tekla model, which what we have, the top chord, the J080 is our joist. So we'll just throw that into our built up. And as you can see, everything else is accounted for. So all we have to do now is create a shipping list. And you have all your parts including, there's your joists, there's your columns, including items that you put in by hand in the Tekla model. One other thing, if we go to our cold form cut list and display, you'll see we now have punching for all of our Z's that came from the Tekla model. This concludes how you can take a project, a multi-building project containing up to 15 different attached buildings, bring it into a Tekla model, manipulate the model, and bring it back into QuestMB for inclusion with your shipping, your sheeting, and your trim for shipping, for manufacturing, your Fabrication drawings would come from your Tekla model. You can use third-party software with Tekla to run manufacturing also. This allows you to take QuestMB in Tekla and use it as a total design, detailing, manufacturing module. Thank you.